Get in the know. Non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
You have your list that you've worked based upon the people you've encountered, the people you've seen. You're scouting the coaches the same way you scout the players. And a good personnel executive is always scouting coaches along with scouting players and also scouting other personnel executives that you may want to have work in your organization at some point in the future. So Kwesi Adofo-Mensah will have his list. The question is, where's the intersection between who he wants and who the Vikings are comfortable hiring? And we'll see how that plays out.
And there are two names on the Vikings list of 8 for sure that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has a connection to, which, well, maybe one of us will throw those two names into a prediction here. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. See if you guys have the
Not
guts.
saying anything right now. Not saying anything right now. Not till we start. Not till kickoff.
This is Purple Daily, Daily Vikings Entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. They have a new general manager. Bonus emergency episode breaking down the official news of Kwesi Adofo-Mensah becoming the Vikings' new GM, so you can check that out. But this is our weekly prediction segment, so let's fire this up, Declan, here. Write that down.
Most make predictions and then never admit they're wrong. Yeah, that's not Mackie and Judd. This is the place where we just totally own our horrible predictions.
Write this down.
And eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Write that down.
It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackie and Judd.
Yep, and it's presented by our friends at TCL. Great TV to watch championship weekend games on.
Oh, yeah.
This Sunday. A new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. So, boys, and I'll pop this up here for the YouTube audience. If you are watching us, please click subscribe and the like button so we can spread the word about this awesome and fun and smart community of Vikings fans that you guys have helped us build. But let's get to it. Here's how Write That Down works. 3 Vikings or football-related predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of completion percentage and touchdowns. We are still playing out the 2021 season along with the football season. If there are predictions from the 2021 season, like X team will win the Super Bowl, those count for the 2021 completion percentage and touchdown standings. So we'll update you guys on that. If you guys, listeners, want to participate, or viewers, send us a message through the Score North app. There's a feedback tab at the bottom. Just hit us up, and we'll get you scheduled like Pierce is about to jump on here in just a few minutes. So, all right, how confident are you guys feeling? You guys are battling it out for a completion percentage title for last year. We're off to the races in 2022. Got a new general manager.
I'm nervous because I think going into this week, I think I still had 6 predictions that were due to come off the board, 6 passes, and that's a lot. So I'm not going to lie. I'm skittish here. But I mean, I feel good because I've got a title in my back pocket from traditional Write That Down. So I feel good about that. But I'm not going to lie here. I'm not going to have false bravado. I'm nervous.
Yeah, most of your predictions too are probably not going to, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, Offensive Rookie of the Year, should happen, so it's going to be kind of close. One of them is Kirk Cousins getting an MVP vote, which I
don't think so.
Surprised if that happens.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to happen now. I made that back in the halcyon days of Kirk.
Well, let's start with you. One prediction came off the board for last year's standings. You said the Bucs would make it to the NFC Championship game.
Not happy with what happened there.
You must have been very excited when they came back from 3 touchdowns to tie the game. And then
I thought they were going to win at that point.
Known playoff assassin Matthew Stafford came right back.
Matthew Stafford, never to be mentioned in the same sentence with Kirk Cousins ever again.
No. Well, that's a whole nother debate for another day. But you said for 2022 the Packers would beat the 49ers and that Devontae Adams would catch at least 2 touchdowns. Shocking defeat by the Packers.
Caught a whole lot of passes.
Nope.
That was the only good thing.
I had the Packers and the Bills in the Super Bowl. Could take that off the board.
Consolation Bowl, Phil. Let's play it.
All right, the listeners here, there was some controversy last week because I think we took this off the board and we said, you guys can do research and figure this out for us. And so thank God we have amazing listeners that act as a research department for the show here. Brady said at least one NFL team will miss the playoffs by one game because of a COVID forfeit or because their quarterback missed a game because of COVID. So Kirk Cousins missed a game because of COVID. And the Vikings finished one game out of a playoff spot. And at first I was like, yeah, but they didn't have the NFC conference record tiebreaker. You can't assume that they would have beat the Packers, but none of those things matter. The prediction was a team will have a quarterback miss a game because of COVID, and they will miss the playoffs by a game.
Yeah.
And the Vikings lost the game that Kirk Cousins missed because of COVID, and so therefore I don't see any other way. This has to be a correct prediction.
It is.
Yes, no question about it.
There you go, Brady.
Nice work.
Nice work, dude. So we'll correct that here. For 2022, Matt had a parlay. He said the Rams would beat the Bucks, the Packers would beat the Niners, which is where this thing started to go off the rails, and then that the Rams and Packers would play in the NFC title game, and OBJ would have at least a touchdown. So that obviously will not happen. Declan, for 2022, you said there'd be a credible report that Spytek, John Spytek, is or was a finalist for the Vikings GM job.
You can take it off, yeah. Clearly wasn't.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for allowing Phil to take it off.
Clearly wasn't.
You think?
Just want to make sure. Can we take this off?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take that one off, Phil.
What if Spytek is? What if Adolfo Mensa is the president of football operations and they bring Spytek in as the general manager?
Good. Yeah.
Maybe
We'll
it's
talk
a
about it
reorg.
at that time.
Okay. But you did say the 49ers would upset the Packers in the divisional round, which I think is close to a touchdown pass, but the Niners also own the Packers in the playoffs. It's a football game, things
I don't
happen.
think so. Yeah, I don't think it was either. I think my Super Bowl prediction is still intact from before the playoffs, which was Niners and Chiefs.
Yes.
I was laughed at for suggesting the Niners could make a run to the Super Bowl, and here they are on the doorstep.
People cackled.
Did I laugh at you?
The hot take cops pulled me over and gave me a warning, but I might have to report that badge number on Old Tweets Exposed maybe in a week before I get ahead of my
I like
skis here.
that. I like it.
Yeah.
The hot take cops
might
were
be me.
circling.
Yeah.
I tell
Darn
people on
cops.
Twitter sometimes, like, you think that it's a hot take, but it's actually the truth. And that's what Declan is spewing here. It's the truth about the
Spewing
NFC.
being the key word for this entire program.
So for 2021, coming down to the wire here, Judd hangs on to a percentage points lead here. 35.1% completions to
not gonna
Declan's
win this.
34.9.
Deck's going to win this.
Declan has one throw left. Judd has 5 throws left.
Declan's
You
gonna
both
win.
have 7 touchdowns. I'm in the clubhouse with a 30.1 completion percentage, 14 touchdowns, listeners at 26.9, and 15 touchdowns, which clinches the win for the touchdown category. For 2022, Declan's off to a good start, 57.1% completions, listeners at 40, Judd's at 33, I'm at 20. Declan and the listeners are the only two with touchdowns so far on the season. So there you have it. Let's get our guy Pierce in here. He's the guest listener predictor. He's got the flow. He's got the stash. He's got the glasses. The avatar is working for Pierce here.
That's a great look, my man.
He is pulled straight out of a late 80s, I don't know, like dingy crime movie or something.
That's hip now. That look is hip now.
I
like
want Judd to grow the flow and grow a mustache.
I got no flow.
That'd be great.
I was looking forward to Declan's mustache. We were talking about that a few weeks ago.
I
Yeah.
agree with Pierce. Yeah.
That was
Grow
shaved
back.
off.
Grow back.
I can't.
Come on,
I
David
can't grow a good mustache, dude.
I know that's the point. That's why we want it.
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we can get you for a Vikings playoff stash or something for next
Yeah,
year.
maybe. We'll see.
Creep everybody out. So, all right, this is guest listener predictor Pierce. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to go Pierce, Judd, Declan, back to me. We'll make 3 trips around the room, and we will we'll celebrate the Vikings having a new general manager, a new era of Vikings football here. Write that down. Let's start it off, Pierce.
All right, so we saw how important kicking was this past weekend. So I got a little Greg Joseph prediction here. In 2022, Greg Joseph will have a 90% field goal make percentage, and he will miss 3 or fewer extra points.
Okay. He is pretty good, especially if you bring in a head coach that's not going to psych him out if he has a bad game. Like Daniel Carlson had a bad game. And Mike Zimmer was like, I'm done. I can't deal with this guy. And he's now one of the 5 best kickers in the NFL. Greg Joseph looks pretty good. He's got a leg. A couple game winners.
Write this down.
Yep.
Okay. Judd?
The Rams will beat the 49ers, and the Chiefs will beat the Bengals in the conference title games. So, Declan, Rams over 49ers, Chiefs over Bengals. That's
Chalk.
simple.
Chalk.
That's simple. Yeah,
That would be a fun Super Bowl.
That's what I want.
It would.
Maybe 2 of the best offensive masterminds in the game, Andy Reid versus Sean McVay.
There's only one quarterback that I absolutely do not want to see in 2 weeks from Sunday, and that is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Why
I
not?
love Burrow.
Jimmy G
doesn't
outplayed
belong
Patrick
in that.
Mahomes for like 2.5 hours in the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
I know.
And then he missed a wide open game clinching touchdown.
Exactly.
pass.
Exactly.
I love watching Jimmy G just try to give games away in this. He tried to give that Vikings playoff game away too a couple
Yeah, he
years
did.
ago.
Teammates love him though.
They do.
Teammates love him. There's a leadership quality, and he also has just often enough has a clutch gene. I do find it funny, all the Cousins Crusaders who are clowning on Jimmy G. It's like Jimmy G is playing in games that Kirk has never come close to playing in. So don't talk trash.
And plus the looks. I mean, let's
Jimmy
cut
Gorgeous,
right to the
man.
chase. He is such a
Jimmy
good
Gorgeous.
man. I'm
Hell of a
comfortable
jawline.
saying he is a very good looking man.
Yeah, he is.
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
All right. In the vein of that, I'll say, write this down. Matthew Stafford will throw more interceptions than Jimmy G in the NFC title game.
Wow.
So if it's tied or less, obviously this doesn't hit, but I'll say Stafford is going to throw more picks than Jimmy G will
Interesting.
in the NFC title game.
I sort of like that. Yeah.
And they might still have a chance to win. You're not making that prediction.
Write this down.
Okay. All right, write this down. The next head coach of the Vikings will be one of these 3 guys. I feel like I've made this prediction like 3 times now. I just changed the names.
Hedging.
D'Amico Ryans, Kevin O'Connell, or Jim Harbaugh. There's a little Jim Harbaugh steam out there.
Yep.
And Kwesi Adofo-Mensah did spend 2 or 3 years with Jim Harbaugh when he was new to the 49ers front office.
Yep.
Now, it was kind of during the time where things were train wrecking for Jim Harbaugh and the Niners. So I don't know what kind of relationship they have. Adofo-Mensah was not high up in the 49ers front office, but they definitely worked together to some extent. And I can't remember the name of the guy, but somebody who wrote a Jim Harbaugh book tweeted something out a couple days ago and said, don't sleep on the Vikings. He's hearing don't sleep on the Vikings. I think it's a long shot, but I just want to throw his name in there. He's got connections to all 3 of these guys. D'Amico Ryans in San Francisco, Kevin O'Connell, who's now the offensive coordinator for the Rams. They worked together in San Francisco, and now Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Write this down.
Okay. Back to
All right.
Pierce.
So the next one, Justin Jefferson will lead the league in at least one of the following categories next year: receptions, receiving yards, or receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
Could see
Yeah,
that easily.
he's ready to do that. He's definitely one of the 3 or 5 dudes. There are so many receivers in this league right now. It's amazing. Like 10 or 15 years ago, it was kind of there's like some top receivers, but it's just go find a guy and Brett Favre will turn him into a star, or Tom Brady will turn him into a star. And now it's like every year there's like 3 dudes that come out that are all-time talents. It feels like.
Pierce, did you say the NFL or NFC?
The NFL.
NFL. Got it.
Okay,
All right.
Judd.
All right. Did some foreshadowing and talking about Jimmy G before, so I'm going to see this through. Jimmy Garoppolo will play his last game with the 49ers on Sunday.
And just to
So
clarify,
they will lose.
You're not saying like ever, right?
No, I'm saying ever.
Yeah,
Okay.
He will no longer be with that organization after Sunday.
So you want this prediction to stay on the board for 10 years?
I believe he will be gone.
No. Well, you're saying that he will be gone from the 49ers
Right.
for this upcoming cycle.
Okay.
If he comes back and plays for the 49ers
Oh,
in
no,
7
no,
years,
no,
I don't want to
no,
be
no.
keeping this prediction
It's
on the
off.
board.
No.
No,
Okay.
I'm saying he plays, they lose, he is traded, released, whatever. Then it's done.
Okay.
Yep.
Then the
Okay,
prediction's done.
Just want to be clear.
If he comes back, it's wrong.
Okay.
So
If
yes.
he comes back, it's been off the board. It's irrelevant.
Exactly.
Just like some of us have been
I didn't
bitten by
even think of it that
phrasing
way.
problems here.
I didn't
just
even
want
think of it that way. I wasn't trying to play the system that I respect so much, so greatly.
Mm-hmm.
Write that down, system, which I have the utmost respect for, the laws of this show. WTD.
Write this down.
All right, write this down. My second prediction here. Earlier this morning, Brian O'Neill was named a replacement in the NFC for the Pro Bowl. So write this down. At least one other Vikings player will be announced as a Pro Bowl replacement.
That's playing the system right there. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Who are the top candidates for that? I'm trying to think of.
What, Dalvin and Jefferson made it, right?
Yes.
Those guys made it.
But
Defensive players? Any defensive
they could get to
players, maybe?
Kirk and ask Kirk.
Kendricks might.
Teddy went once.
Teddy
Teddy
did go.
went once.
He didn't even have that good a year.
Didn't T-Jack go as a Seahawks
Everybody
quarterback
goes.
one time?
Declan is literally manipulating the system in a brilliant way.
But sometimes the write that down gods
it.
will strike down
True.
upon thee. With
Yeah.
I still
vengeance.
like what he's doing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Write it down. You like writing
All right.
things down.
All right. Write this down. Judd has lost a ton of weight over the past 3 months.
Oh, that's right. But guess what? That wasn't a fluke. No. That was because of my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. And to Phil Mackey's point, I am down 30 plus pounds because of this program. And now I want you to join me on the Livia. I did an 8-week challenge where you get your first 8 weeks for free. And did I tell you that in my first 8 weeks, I lost 26 pounds? In other words, you can lose, let's say, 26 pounds by March, April, and you won't even have paid yet. The program is that good. Call today, 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com, Livia, Livea.com. If you want to shed those pounds, get the clothes to fit well again, and feel good for spring, Livia.com.
Love it. Love it. All right. Write
Write
this
it
down.
down. You like writing things down.
By March 20th, credible reports will surface that Aaron Rodgers will retire or that he wants to be traded.
Okay.
So I don't think he's going to want to play for the Packers anymore. And I think, like, he kind of floated on McAfee's show yesterday too, that they have I have a great relationship with Brian Gutekunst now, but they have a lot to figure out. And I don't think Devontae Adams is going to want to be franchise tagged, and they got to figure that out. And she's basically saying, figure out why you're $40 million over the cap. Figure out how you can fix that and pay me, and then we can talk here sometime soon. I don't think they're going to figure it out. Okay. I just like they're going to have to if they have to get rid of some players, he's going to say, well, I don't want to play here anymore, and then he'll demand a trade. So credible reports will surface that he'll either retire or wants to be traded. All right, back to Pierce, your third and final prediction.
All right, kind of countering Judd here. The 2 Super Bowl teams will be the 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals, and Joey B will be your Super Bowl MVP.
Wow.
Wow,
dude.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Yes.
I'd love to see Burrow be that successful.
Could you imagine?
He's got the swag.
Yeah, he's
so much
He's
fun.
a blast, man. That would be definitely a touchdown pass on behalf of the listeners if that hit. So, Pierce, awesome work here. Since you've got this platform now on Purple Daily, this life-changing moment for you here, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that brought you to this point?
I'd like to thank my girlfriend this past season. She'd see, Cousins coming down the field with no time on the clock and just be like, you poor child. And then also you guys, I live in Charleston, so this is pretty much the only way I get Minnesota Vikings content. So thank you all for that.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on here. Great work. We'll definitely get you on again sometime. All right.
Good stuff, man.
Pierce, showing everyone what Declan should look like if he would grow
It's
a
a
mustache.
great look. He's got the look going for him. I'm going to give him that. Good shirt, too.
Okay.
Love the 90s golf shirt look, too, there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
great.
if I should be looking like that. Maybe Pierce should be looking like me, but that's a different conversation.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
We bring people on.
Very
who
modest.
Celebrate their own look, and Declan takes shots at them.
I do.
all right, Judd. Third and final prediction.
Sean Payton resigned as coach of the Saints on Tuesday. He will be the lead analyst for Fox NFL package next season, working with Joe Buck.
Wow. See,
I think Aikman leaves. And by the way, there are rumors about the shifts that we're going to see in broadcast booths.
Al
It's
Michaels
great.
maybe back to Monday Night Football.
Yes, because he right now is supposedly was going to go to the Thursday night package, which, by the way, is shifting to Amazon. But I guess now, wisely, ESPN's like, hold on a second here. Al Michaels? Yeah, we could make room. I mean, Steve Levy's okay, and I don't mind him, but Al Michaels? I'd rather have Al Michaels, gotta be honest.
It would be a blast. So I just don't I think Sean Payton probably comes back and coaches. And there's all this Dallas. I know. I'd like in 2023, let's say.
Oh, that's very possible.
Would Fox bring him on for 1 year as the lead analyst, knowing that he's probably going to go coach the Cowboys in 2023, and then they'd have to find a new partner for Joe Buck? Or would they want someone that's going to be in there for the long haul if Aikman leaves?
I think that they would hold their breath that Peyton would be paid extremely well, do it for a year, and realize what a good gig it potentially is, and say, I don't want to coach anymore.
Yeah,
I think that would be the goal. They do pay really well now.
Yeah. What's tough, though, is like you don't know if these guys are going to be good.
I think
you hope Jason Witten's going to be great. We'll pay him a bunch of money, and you don't get a test run to. You don't get to start him off on the Panthers. The Panthers-Lions game for a year.
Chris Myers, you go work a bunch of Vikings games in 22, Sean, and we'll make a judgment on you after that. That is true. But yes, I'm predicting some seismic shifts in the broadcast booth for the league this coming season.
Write this down.
All right, Declan.
All right, my final write that down prediction. Saw some of this float. I think it was on Adam Thielen's podcast that he has, but they were talking about Keenan McCardell and how much he means to Justin Jefferson and just the overall wide receiver room. So write this down. Keenan McCardell will remain with the Vikings coaching staff in 2022. So there's no sure thing that he obviously is retaining this new staff. I say he will be. So Keenan McCardell will be retained by the Vikings coaching staff in 2022. I'm going to keep his position open-ended. If he's still wide receivers coach, I think he will be, but I don't want that to be missed out on. But he'll just remain with the Vikings coaching staff in 2022.
I like that one. It makes sense for him, too. Like, for your career, you want to keep being associated with Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, KJ Osborne's development, right? Seems like a good prediction. All right, my final prediction here.
Write this down.
I'm going to say, can you play the Mary Kay Cabot clip here, Dex? Do we have that ready? Let's play this first.
If Kwesi is the general manager in Minnesota and they want to do some things in terms of, trading Kirk Cousins or rebuilding or whatever the case may be, then of course there would be a discussion, I would think, that would take place between them and the Cleveland Browns about Kirk Cousins, because as we mentioned before, the Browns are going to have to turn over every single stone to make sure they have the best team they can get going forward. That of course includes everything, including quarterback. I mean, they never said they wouldn't do that.
I think she's right. And I don't think she's been so plugged in for so long, and she's been reporting on Baker Mayfield's falling out with the offensive coaches and Kevin Stefanski. And Baker came out and said, "This is ridiculous." Blah blah blah. It's like, no, dude. I think his personality rubs people the wrong way. I think she's onto something. And Kevin Stefanski landed that Cleveland job because of the 2019 Vikings offense led by Kirk Cousins. The Vikings had a good year. They won a playoff game. My guess is Stefanski and Cousins have a really good working relationship, and the Browns are in a great spot roster-wise and cap room-wise. They have $35 million in cap space to make this deal happen. Ultimately, I don't think if they were to pull this trade, I don't think it makes them better than the Josh Allen Bills or the Pat Mahomes Chiefs, but they're trying to move chess pieces around and take a step forward. So write this down.
Write this down.
Mary Kay Cabot is right. The Vikings this offseason, I'm going to say before training camp, before week one. I think if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in the next 2 months, but before week one, we'll trade Kirk Cousins to the Browns for Baker Mayfield. Maybe some draft picks, but those are
the official prediction is what? Kirk goes to Cleveland.
Kirk goes to Cleveland. Baker comes to Minnesota. There may be other pieces involved,
but you're not involved
into
in
that business. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
I don't think she's just floating. I think there's
Reckless speculation.
I do think the Vikings, if they do that, will get a pretty high draft pick attached to Baker. I think that's safe to assume.
Yeah, what do you think? So here's how the conversation goes, right? So Baker has one more year left in his deal. It's like $18 million cap hit or 19 or something.
Yep. It's a little high.
And I don't think that he is a solution long term for the Vikings. I think he's limited. I hate his personality. He's kind of a leader, but he's also super insecure and petulant.
And Burrow, is the perfect, if you want to know what a young quarterback should look and sound like, Burrow is the perfect example. And Baker is sort of a phony, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like an over-the-top, overcompensating arrogance with Baker.
Yeah.
Burrow seems more comfortable with himself.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's a bad look, too, that OBJ wanted out of Cleveland for 2 years, immediately gets to the Rams and thrives, right?
Yes.
So if the Vikings made this trade, they would save a bunch of cap space. Mm-hmm. They'd also be completely open for 2023 to do whatever they want at quarterback, because Baker's contract would be off the books too. And if Baker turns it around and makes some strides, then cool. Then you can evaluate that too. What do you think the draft pick would be?
I think the Vikings. Yeah, I think the Vikings would consider what they're doing a favor to Cleveland, and Cleveland clearly would make that trade thinking that Kirk Cousins can help them win immediately, potentially Super Bowl. They'd probably ask for a first attached, and my guess is get a second.
So wow, you think
Baker's
they could trade
not
Kirk for Baker and like a second round pick? I mean,
yes,
that is a no-brainer.
Because Baker, in my opinion, will be considered by the Vikings camp baggage that they don't want.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like the Goff Stafford, but those contracts were different.
Like if Baker has a great year, let's say he comes here and he's just outstanding, you still have a decision to make, because at that point in time, he needs a new contract. And do you see a potential outstanding 2022 as being him now, or sort of a fluke? And once he gets paid, he goes backwards, regresses. So I would think that the Viking stance would be, Cleveland, we're helping you. And we'll take Baker back. We're not keeping him. So we've got to get a high draft pick as the real collateral attached to the trade.
I feel like we should do this. We should do this episode tomorrow. There's so much here.
Love how you
it's
love
so
this.
interesting.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Because my other question is, do you think
Reckless speculation.
Do you think the Browns look at the Rams? Mm-hmm. The Rams are sitting there in the NFC Championship game right now, have a chance to win a Super Bowl, and they made a trade for a guy that was pretty widely considered, like a fringe top 10 guy in Stafford. He's plays for this organization. Now the Lions organization, much more of a dumpster fire than the Vikings are not a dumpster fire organization. Correct. They have flaws, but the Lions are just inherently dumpster fire for 50 years.
Right.
But do the Browns look at the Rams and say, man, what if we grabbed a Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, right? Plugged him into offensive coach, offensive infrastructure, great offensive line. We got cap space to absorb the contract. I just wonder if the Rams are having an influence on potential Kirk Cousins discussion.
I think the Stafford trade definitely does. Because you can say, look at what the Rams did for Stafford. Why can't you do the same for Kirk? The flaws that we know and see in Kirk aren't necessarily the flaws that the rest of the world knows about. And I think that and just like when the Vikings signed Kirk, I think there's always been this thing of, we can be the team that saves Kirk, and Kirk can excel here. But I'm just saying, I think the Stafford trade sets up perfectly for a trade like this, where you make damn sure that at least one high draft pick is attached, because what you consider is Baker Mayfield in this case is Jared Goff. He's not your future, and he's not your guy, and you're taking him off a team's hands.
Yeah. Or does it, on the flip side, do you look at the Rams and you say, man, if the Vikings could just put infrastructure around a quarterback like that. Now, to be clear, I think Stafford is a different cat.
Correct.
Stafford was a first overall pick.
Too much.
Yep. By the way, on Burrow, so this is a year 2 quarterback playing in the playoffs for the first time. His headset went out for a stretch during that game against the Titans. So he couldn't hear the play call. So he just started calling his own plays for a chunk of that game.
He didn't shrug and say, what should I do? What am I going to do here? I just work here.
He said, yeah, it was exciting. Coach Taylor always jokes, don't pretend like the headset goes out so you can call your own plays. And Burrow's like, well, the headset actually went out. I got to call my own plays. It was great.
Hold on a second. So I'm shocked. So a guy that played for Belichick and now coaches the Titans played a game in his stadium where the visiting team's headset disappeared and didn't work?
Wow.
And it was a
Shocking.
second-year QB, Mike Vrabel. I mean, I'm sure Mike's apologizing, right?
Shocking.
God,
That's
they're-
an interesting
I
coincidence.
love the cheating that goes on in this league. It's so much fun.
You know, it's not cheating. Drinking Surly.
Oh, no.
That's perfectly within the rules.
It is within the rules. In fact, I consider it to be a mandatory part of my football weekends. That's right. Surly Brewing Company, and in particular, the can that's always by my side here as I do Purple Daily and Mackie and Judd. Surly Furious IPA. Boys, Championship Sunday. What better day? What better day than to have right by your side Surly Furious, watch some great football, watch 3 potentially very good to great quarterbacks, and enjoy a great beer, Surly Furious.
Yeah. Also, a great insurance company to help your business maximize its potential is Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around since 1904, helping business owners for all that time. And you can find a full list of industries and resources to help industries that they protect, and then resources that you can tap into to help your business at federatedinsurance.com. Remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, it's a wrap. Write that down. Wednesday here on Purple Daily. Let's maybe we'll do a little reckless speculation tomorrow on Purple Daily.
Oh, Tyler Fornes, our buddy
That's
Tyler
right.
Fornes is joining us tomorrow, and
Love it.
he sent me a note.
In.
And there is some reckless speculation actually involved that he just wrote about. So, yes, we can absolutely get into it.
Awesome, man. All right, our guy Tyler Fornes from NBC Sports Edge, climbing the pocket. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Purple Daily.